advice I'd give someone starting out in sports would to be follow your passion, follow the dream that you have, and go after it. No dream is too big. You just have to work for it. I got into sports because of my family. My mom and my dad were both in sports in college, and all of my brothers played sports throughout their lives, and then I just followed suit behind them, coming in a little younger than they were, just always at some type of ballpark or stadium or anything, just always had fun in sports and continued with it. I think the biggest barrier for the visibility of women's sports is the audience, and not having maybe not as many as much, like, I guess, social media content for them, and showing that we have a game this day, or just people coming out and seeing how much fun women's sports are. And people don't know that they're as much fun as they are. They always just assume men's sports are where all the action is, but in reality, women's sports is just as much fun, just as much action and entertainment. In the time that we are now, I think it's just great that we're slowly moving forward in that direction to where women's sports are just as valued as men's sports. And I think being a collegiate athlete at this day and age, it's great to have that platform to continue to grow women's sports to the extent of men's sports. I love it. The female that's been the biggest influence on me would have to be my mom growing up, and then each female coach I've had. So right now, currently, it's Coach Smith. She's been the huge influence just in her past 4 years that she's been a part of my life, and I look up to her tremendously. As a female in sports, I think for me to be a role model is just to continue to get out into the community and to help with the younger kids, the younger females in our sports, and spend time with them, coach them, and give them as much advice as we can to allow them to want to continue to follow in sports and become a student athlete, become a collegiate athlete. And I think just spending all that time with them when they're young and showing them the love of the game at such a young age is just huge for women's sports. Personally, I don't see as much of a balance, especially when I was a freshman in college. There wasn't as much as one there is now, now that I'm a fifth year. And I think that we're slowly progressing to getting to a point where there is a balance between men's and women's sports, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. In a future world, women's sports, there's professional sports in every sport there is for women's sports, softball, soccer, basketball, and there's equal pay in those. And I think that Title IX, if they continue to push for the equality in women's and men's sports, and continue to grow the audience and the fans and all the resources that men's have, I think women's sports can become that powerhouse of a professional athletics as it is for men's.